What if the key to achieving lasting power lies not in ambition, not in charm, but in something far simpler, something far more difficult to grasp? What if the greatest fortune, the most powerful tool in a leader's arsenal, is the ability to see and understand the truth, no matter how unflattering, uncomfortable, or inconvenient it may be? In a world where illusions often obscure reality, where misinformation spreads faster than knowledge, the ability to discern truth from falsehood is not just a luxury, it's a vital skill. This is the kind of wisdom that can make the difference between a fleeting victory and enduring power. This profound insight was central to the political philosophy of Niccolò Machiavelli, the 16th century strategist whose ideas have resonated through the centuries. For Machiavelli, clarity of vision and an unrelenting commitment to seeing reality as it is, no matter how harsh, were the foundation of effective leadership. But how does this relate to our world today? What does it mean to understand the truth? And how can this shape a leader's path toward greatness? In this essay, we will dive into the powerful concept that the greatest fortune is to be able to see and understand the truth, examining its deep implications for leadership and decision-making. We will explore Machiavelli's perspective on wisdom, the importance of realism in leadership, and how the ability to grasp reality can shape the course of history. Buckle up for an enlightening journey into the heart of true leadership, where the truth is not just a tool, but a weapon for securing lasting success. Welcome to The Unfolding Journey, a space where we explore timeless wisdom, examine the complexities of leadership, and break down the lessons that can empower us to lead with clarity, conviction, and insight. Here, we unravel the ideas that have shaped the course of history, diving deep into the minds of philosophers, strategists, and leaders who understood that the truth is the most powerful force in any endeavor. If you're someone who values growth, seeks understanding, and believes that leadership begins with an honest reckoning of reality, you're in the right place. Now, let's take a closer look at how understanding the truth can transform not just a leader's path, but the course of nations themselves. At its core, effective leadership demands one essential trait: wisdom. But what does it mean to be wise in a leadership context? Is it the ability to make the right decisions? Is it the capacity to understand human nature? Or perhaps it is the skill of managing people and resources? The answer lies in a more fundamental aspect. Wisdom in leadership is the ability to see and understand the truth of one's situation, no matter how difficult or inconvenient it might be. Machiavelli, in his seminal work The Prince, offers a rich exploration of what it means to lead with clarity of vision. He warns leaders against the seductive allure of idealized views of the world. The notion of a perfect ruler or a flawless kingdom is an illusion. In reality, circumstances are often messy, unpredictable, and filled with complexity. Leaders who cannot see this truth are often led astray by their own desires, fears, or misconceptions. Machiavelli believed that a ruler must cultivate a clear-eyed view of the world, unclouded by sentimental notions or wishful thinking. To rule effectively, one must understand the true nature of both allies and enemies, the strengths and weaknesses of one's position, and the ever-changing dynamics of power. In short, a ruler must see the world for what it truly is, not as they wish it to be. This principle extends beyond the realm of politics. In any sphere of leadership, whether in business, social organizations, or even personal endeavors, the ability to understand the truth is the foundation of sound decision-making. Without clarity, decisions are reactive, based on assumptions, and susceptible to failure. With clarity, a leader can anticipate challenges, recognize opportunities, and act decisively. Take, for example, a leader in the corporate world. A CEO who refuses to acknowledge the financial difficulties of their company, or who turns a blind eye to failing product lines, is headed for disaster. On the other hand, a CEO who honestly confronts the company's challenges, no matter how painful, can begin to make the tough decisions necessary to turn things around. In both politics and business, denying the truth can lead to short-term gains, but will ultimately erode trust, credibility, and success. Recognizing and embracing the truth, on the other hand, lays the groundwork for long-term stability and achievement. Machiavelli's most famous work, The Prince, is a treatise on power, leadership, and the brutal realities of ruling. While often misinterpreted as a guide to ruthless manipulation, The Prince is more accurately understood as a reflection of Machiavelli's commitment to seeing things as they are, no matter how ugly or uncomfortable. In Machiavelli's world, political power was not a lofty ideal, but but a practical reality governed by the harsh truths of human nature. He famously argued that a leader should be both a lion and a fox, strong and decisive like a lion, but shrewd and strategic like a fox. This duality reflects his understanding that the world of politics is filled with challenges and obstacles that require both brute force and cleverness to navigate. However, the most important element is the ability to understand the landscape of power, the motivations of people, and the true nature of one's circumstances. The greatest leaders, according to Machiavelli, were those who could distinguish between appearance and reality. They knew when to use force and when to negotiate. They understood that power is not static, it is always in flux, and those who fail to adapt to changing circumstances are doomed to fail. The ability to see and understand the truth of one's position, whether that truth is about an ally's disloyalty, the shifting balance of power, or the broader social and economic environment, is what separates the great from the mediocre. Take, for instance, the example of a ruler who has successfully navigated a period of relative peace. This leader might be tempted to rest on their laurels, assuming that the situation will remain stable. However, a leader who sees the truth will recognize that peace is temporary, that new challenges are always emerging, and that maintaining power requires constant vigilance. Such a ruler will prepare for future conflicts, build alliances, and strengthen their position, not based on an idealized view of the world, but on a clear understanding of the dynamics at play. The core of Machiavelli's political thought can be summarized as pragmatism, an approach that prioritizes practical solutions over theoretical ideals. A leader who is bound by idealistic notions of how the world should work is vulnerable to manipulation and failure. Instead, Machiavelli advocates for a pragmatic approach, one grounded in a realistic understanding of human nature, power structures, and the forces that shape history. Realism, in this context, does not mean cynicism or pessimism. Rather, it is an honest appraisal of the world as it is. Realists do not deny that ideals such as justice, virtue, and honor exist. They simply understand that these ideals are often subordinate to the harsh realities of political life. A realist does not expect the world to conform to their ideals. They understand that it is the world itself that shapes their ideals. One of the most powerful aspects of Machiavelli's philosophy is his insistence on adapting to circumstances. Leaders who cling to rigid ideals, who expect others to act in accordance with moral principles or social conventions, often find themselves outmatched by those who are willing to adapt and embrace pragmatism. A leader who can understand the true nature of people, who can read the motivations of allies and enemies alike, will be better equipped to make the hard choices necessary to secure their position. The ability to see and understand the truth is not just important for individual leaders. It is vital for the long-term stability of nations and organizations. Throughout history, we can see examples of both success and failure that hinge on a leader's ability to confront reality, even when it's uncomfortable. Consider the example of Winston Churchill during World War II. Churchill's ability to see the truth of Nazi Germany's expansionist ambitions and to act on that truth, despite widespread political appeasement, was crucial to the Allied victory. He did not allow himself to be swayed by popular sentiment or misguided optimism. Instead, he acted based on the clear-eyed understanding of the threat that faced Britain and the world. On the other hand, history is also replete with examples of leaders who failed because they refused to see the truth. Napoleon Bonaparte, for example, was often blind to the realities of the European political landscape. His overconfidence and refusal to recognize the limitations of his power ultimately led to his downfall. In contrast, leaders like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, both of whom understood the complex truths of their time, left lasting legacies. As we've seen, understanding the truth is a critical factor in achieving lasting leadership and power. Whether we look to Machiavelli, to history's greatest leaders, or to the challenges of contemporary society, one truth remains constant. Clarity of vision is the bedrock of success. Leaders who seek the truth, who are unafraid to confront reality, and who adapt accordingly are the ones who thrive in the face of adversity. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. If you found value in this exploration of wisdom, leadership, and pragmatism, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future episodes. Here at The Unfolding Journey, we continue to explore the deep, powerful ideas that can shape your life and leadership. We look forward to having you along for the ride. Don't forget to subscribe to The Unfolding Journey for more insights into leadership, wisdom, and strategy. Stay curious, stay bold, and keep seeking the truth.